All right, so we have a couple of different reacts that I want to look at, and then we'll start gaming. Drama.
This was shot in front of a live studio audience at twitch.tv/sweatsicle.
No, these ones are a little different. Remakes are beating new games, and it's not nostalgia.
Remasters seem to be dominating these days, and here's what's kind of cool. There's a new survey, and it shows something real striking. That 90% of you have played a remaster or a remake within the last few years. Which isn't really a surprise. I mean, I've certainly...
Okay, slow down. 76% find them appealing. Where is this data coming from, though? 9% extremely appealing, 22% very appealing.
I have a new thought process here. I'm in a new state of I'm in a new zen state of mind, okay? I'm in a new fucking I have unzipped and removed myself from the previous capsule, and I have
Okay, thanks. 22% very appealing, 45% appealing, 17% neither appealing or unappealing, 3% unappealing, 3% very unappealing, 1% extremely unappealing. Well, I guess it also really just depends on what franchise it is.
have played a remaster or a remake within the last few years. Which isn't really a surprise. I mean, I've certainly played a few. I imagine you have. And who could blame you? These games are dominating. And the biggest examples probably...
The cosmic horse promises great riches, Guardians. Come on down to tonight's Dares of Eternity.
The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, because that has outsold all but one of the new games released this year.
What?
So you might wonder then, is this just the...
What? Digital sales on Nintendo and Xbox platforms not included. 2025 year-to-date U.S. top 20 games, physical and full game, digital on Nintendo eShop, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC platforms for publishers in the digital leader panel, ranked on dollar sales. Do people really love Elder Scrolls that much? Because when I think of like remastered stuff, I think like the one that comes to mind immediately is Nintendo. They're able to resell their games about 6,000 different times. How many different versions of Super Mario Bros. Have been sold across every console, you know? Not that people are buying it as much as like an Elder Scrolls game, but you know. I didn't realize that people played... I know, doesn't Final Fantasy do a lot of remakes too?
of the new games.
Number 2 is
released this
crazy
year.
though.
So you might wonder then, is this just the industry's future? An endless cycle of nostalgic re-releases, forever, all consuming itself? Well,
Yep.
it turns out maybe not. Because for most people playing these remakes, it's actually not about nostalgia. It's literally impossible because most of them haven't played the original version. And that's just one snippet of the new data we've got about remakes. When I say every week brings a new remake or remaster, that's not idle words, it's quite literal. Last week had Trials in the Sky first chapter and Platypus Reclayed. This week there's Pac-Man World 2 Repack. Perhaps not Oblivion Remastered here, and you'd be forgiven for being confused at how it appears there's some cultural zeitgeist crying out for early 2000s games that have already been re-released or ported half a dozen times. It's a bit weird, but in 2025, remake culture has really just reached new heights here. Like, to put some stats on the Elder Scrolls Oblivion situation, that remaster sold more copies in its first month than the original game did in 15 months. And in total, it has already completely outsold the original release of the game, which is kind of wild. Now,
That, I just don't know if that's a fair metric though. If Oblivion came out in 2005 or 2006, bro, it's just not, it's almost not even fair because gaming has grown exponentially since then. Gaming is cool now. If you used to game back in 2000 or like 2005, you used to be a dweeb and a nerd. It was a very like niche thing. Well, not very niche, but it was a lot smaller than it was. So I don't really feel like it should come as a surprise that people are buying these remasters for games that they missed 20 years ago. Like, it's honestly smart marketing. You know? It's free on Game Pass. Oh yeah, the Game Pass that costs $6,000 a month now.
Now, you could argue that something sad is happening here.
Free.
That publishers are just pushing lazy nostalgia grabs because they can't make new games that are good, and that nobody's money's going to new games. And then maybe this all shows us that people crave the good games of the past that we used to play, not the bad games that we get now. But that wouldn't make full sense because of a kind of staggering statistic from this recent survey, that 85% of you have played a remake or a remaster of a game that you did not play in the first place. So it actually seems that this stuff is expanding into a new audience.
Chat, what was the last game that you played that was a remaster that you hadn't played the original? I'm trying to think for me what that would be. Then again, I don't know if I'm really a fair statistic because I've been grinding one game for like a decade. Oblivion, P3 Reload. I'm sure I probably played some sort of remaster for a video. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. I suppose like Master Chief Collection counts, right? Yeah.
audience. Let's dive into the survey, and to do that, we gotta define our terms. Remakes are complete reimaginings built from scratch, so updated graphics, gameplay mechanics, and sometimes story elements. Remasters are enhanced versions of originals. That means improved visuals, sound, and performance, but the core gameplay staying the same. And here's what the data tells us. MTM Consulting surveyed 1,500 US and UK gamers, and GameIndustry.biz brought the data to our attention, and for the sake of uniformity, they gave respondents those specific definitions so everyone's on the same terms. Then they asked people how they feel. And the findings, oh, yeah. So, there's the 90% stat of people having played at least one remaster or remake. And considering how many there have been, that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Then there's the 85% stat that I just talked about. But there's some other ones too. 80% and 71% of people respectively believe that these games are comforting and nostalgic at the same time as being a good way to share beloved games with new generations.
So yeah, not only do you have a generation of people that grew up on the golden age of gaming, but now they get to share it with their kids. Of course they're going to do that.
What's going on, man?
I just got a flat tire.
How'd you get a flat tire?
That I don't know, but
They don't know, it just happened?
yeah, just
Take it easy, guys. Have a good
I
one.
can make it to the house. I got no time.
You got your license on you?
No, I do not.
Do you have a license? Is that,
Say what?
do you have a license?
Yeah, I'm trying to get home though, man. I just caught a flat tire.
Yeah, I get it. I was just gonna check to make sure you're okay, and then you stopped in the middle of the road.
No, you hurt my tire. That's obviously the reason why.
I don't know why you're getting so defensive.
I'm
just checking.
Look. Don't you see this?
I'm literally checking.
But I have to get home to my baby, man.
I get it. I don't know why you're being so defensive, though.
Being defensive.
You are. You're jumping down my throat here when all I was doing is just checking up on you.
I'm not jumping on you.
I'm in. All right. What's your name? What's your name?
Hold on a second.
What's your name? Hey, man, get off your phone. If you give me your name, date of birth, we'll get you going out of here, okay?
Because of my tire, that's why you're going to check my plates?
Well, your plate's not coming back to anything. Hey!
I caught a flat tire, so you're going to ask for my license because I caught a flat tire. I just left work.
I gotcha.
I'm getting a hard
If you
time.
just give us your name, date of birth,
And I'm trying to
we
get-
can attach you to this because I'm out with you. As long as you come back clean, we'll let you go. I don't get what the problem is.
When you have your four-ways on, that's your hazard lights.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay, then.
But you stopped in the middle of the road.
I did not stop in the middle of the
You
road.
stopped right here.
Yes, because I have my hazards on. You're allowed to stop if you got your hazards on.
And I'm allowed to stop to make sure you're okay.
Yes, I'm okay. My tire went
What's your
flat.
name and date of birth, buddy?
Hello?
Taking my for obstruction.
The police just stopped me. My tire went flat, and now they ask me where my license is.
Yeah, the plate doesn't come back to anything.
I don't understand why they're giving me a hard time.
You're giving me a hard
I did
time.
not jump down your throat, and you got me on cam. I did not jump down
You
your throat.
did. I just asked for your name and date of birth, buddy. That's all I
The
wanted.
only thing I said was I'm trying to get home to my baby.
I can't hear you, so I don't know.
She said I'm a Morris national. You know what that means?
I don't know what that is.
The term Moorish national driver that the lawyer refers to is a term used by some members of the Moorish sovereign citizen movement who believe they are not subject to United States traffic laws. They also may attempt to use fraudulent documents or claim sovereign status to avoid having a driver's license, registering their vehicle, or paying fines. The lawyer will continue using this tactic even when she soon shows up to argue with officers in person.
Tell him.
Okay, we'll just tow your vehicle.
You just gonna tow my vehicle? Yeah. Sorry, they just said they gonna tow my vehicle. Really?
It's got a flat tire. You can't be driving it. The plates don't come back to anything. How about you just give me your name and date of birth?
Okay, what's your name and badge number?
Officers in Galley, badge number 8070.
What's your status?
What's
Keep your hands out of your pockets.
Oh, my hands ain't in my pockets. What's your status?
What do you mean status?
What's your status? What's your nationality? You don't have one.
What are you talking?
We're not making a nationality thing about it.
What nationality, man? I'm with the police department.
We are nationalists, Moorish American. You know what that means? I'm not in no jurisdiction.
You're in our jurisdiction.
You are not in your jurisdiction. You are a friend of
56 in my head.
It's fit and it's for the American rights.
Do I have to have you come up here?
Her coming out here is not going to do anything, man.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Your plates don't come back to anything. You're driving down here with a flat tire. You got to light out.
Okay, that's not my fault that I caught a flat tire, man. Like I wanted to catch a flat tire.
The
I didn't want to
first,
do
the
this.
second,
Just
the
tell me who
fourth
you
shot.
are.
What is that?
Give me your information and you go home to your son.
Are you here?
Speaking with the press?
Okay, is she an attorney?
Is she what? Is she an attorney? Yes, she is.
Self-expression and
Sorry, they said, what's your bar number? When you are more national American, you don't need that.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't need a bar number.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
In order to be an attorney in the United States, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I just had her represent me for a case. No, you didn't.
Go tell her to get ready for another case.
They said to tell you to get ready for another case. What's your badge number?
Real 63.
Charlie, write it down. Real 63. The hazards means if somebody's falling behind
the hazards don't mean
Real 63. The hazards means if somebody's falling behind
the hazards don't mean that I can't stop you, okay?
Okay, well,
the hazards mean I can still jump out with you, buddy. It's
you hurt my tire, so
yeah, that's why I'm making sure everything's okay. Making sure your car is able to be driven. How come your plates don't come back to anything?
Do I know?
How come your plates don't come back to anything?
They should.
They don't. I ran them twice. But I need to know who you are. You're about to be under arrest. Just tell me who you are.
So they said they about to arrest me. Can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cause no issue.
Yeah, what's going on?
I just told the officer here, I'm trying to get her to myself. Huh? Is your sergeant out here?
I am sergeant.
You're the sergeant?
Yeah.
Okay, he's out here, sergeant. Look it up.
That phone is fucking hard. It's a Motorola Razr or something like that. I have one of these way back.
It's a freaking man out there.
Can I talk to you, not the phone? I can't listen to both of you, okay? Can you just hang up for a minute and call her back?
Okay, just hold up. I'll stay on the phone.
Okay, can you mute her or something for a minute?
She's my authorized representative.
Okay, so what's going on?
What is a Moorish?
I just called a flat. He said that I stopped in the middle of the road. I wasn't bothering nobody. I wasn't causing any harm.
Okay.
Okay? I didn't damage nobody's goods. So therefore, what is the issue? I'm standing out here freezing my ass off now because they said I didn't give them my information. If you was really trying to help me, you were trying to see about that tire, not about a plate.
Okay, well, your vehicle's causing a hazard in the road, so they have every right to...
And I was trying to pull over, but now...
Okay, so why aren't you giving your information?
Because that's not why you stopped me, it's because I just...
Please just hang up the phone.
What's the crime this man committed?
Your vehicle's causing a hazard in the road, okay? So if you don't give your information and stuff, we'll just tow the vehicle. I'm trying to understand what's going on, but I can't listen to you and the phone at the same time, okay?
No, we're not talking at the same time.
I'm not listening to both of you, okay? Let's hold on a minute. That's what's going on.
He came by. It sounded like he had a flat, so I got behind him. As I get behind him, he just stops here. Okay. So I put my lights out, and I jump out, and it looked like he was looking at his side of his thing. So I was like, hey, buddy, what's going on? I ran the plate. Plate doesn't come back to anything. There's no registration sticker on it or anything. Yeah. So I come out, I'm like, hey, just give me your information. That way we can just make sure everything's okay. Yeah. He refuses to. Says he's a whatever national. I'm thinking sovereign stuff. He says that's his girlfriend or wife, whoever. He says it's his attorney, and she doesn't have a bar number because she doesn't need one.
He doesn't want to identify himself. He can go to jail.
Yeah, who is mowing the lawn at night? I don't get it.
Because the plate comes back to nothing.
Yeah. All right. It's the last chance. Either give your ID.
Mowing the lawn at night. I don't get it.
Because the plate comes back to nothing.
Yeah. All right. It's the last chance. Either give your ID or you're gonna go to jail for failure to identify yourself. Okay. So your choice.
Look, man, we just want your identity. We just want.
It's no big deal.
Hello. Okay, so now they said they're gonna take me to jail.
Just identify yourself.
Because I didn't identify myself. That's why.
And you're driving a motor vehicle.
No, sir. I'm traveling.
Oh, not again.
Okay. All right. Hands on your back, buddy.
All right. So now he's booking me.
I don't know why.
All right. Hands on your back, buddy.
Oh, no, sir. I'm traveling.
Oh, not again.
Okay. All right. Hands on your back, buddy.
All right. So now he's booking me.
I don't know why you made this difficult. Do you not have a driver's license? Is that the issue?
You got warrants? No, sir. I think I do. I was just trying to get home to my son. That's all you had to do is get your information.
Is this you or you Ben?
That's what it says here.
Was this all worth it?
Huh?
Is this worth it? It didn't have to go this way.
I don't know why you didn't identify yourself. That's all we needed from you.
On the car. Listen, this is your last chance. You can either identify yourself now, and we can just go with what's going on with this vehicle, or you can go to jail for obstruction and failure to identify yourself. So it's your choice what you want to do right now.
I'm just trying to get home to my son, man.
Okay, so you got a driver's license? It's not a big deal if you don't have a driver's license. Do you not have one?
Right, hello guys and welcome back. Just a few days ago, update 9.1.5 released, and with it came a host of sweeping changes to primarily the Warlock sandbox, with the key change being that buddy aspects like Arc Soul, Hellion, and Bleakwatcher now behave as grenades for the purposes of stats and perks, among several other ability tuning passes. Void Warlock received a lot of love, stasis on all 3 classes, especially on Titan, is actually insane now, and there were also some neat changes to Solar and Strand Hunter as well. So today we're going to be breaking down everything that changed in update 9.1.5 minus all the bullshit. And if you enjoyed today's content, then a like and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Okay, so to start with, let's discuss exactly what happened to the Warlock buddy aspects and why this change is so incredibly impactful. As stated in the intro, the following turret aspects have been reworked to behave like grenades for the purposes of stats and perks: Hellion, Bleakwatcher, Arc Soul, Child of the Old Gods, and Ionic Sentry. What this means is that any of these aspects will, for example, create an orb of power on kill when using the firepower mod, and actually if you're using 3 copies, every single kill will make one. Furthermore, investing in upwards of 100 grenade stat will improve the damage of these abilities by up to 65% at 200 stat, but more excitingly, they work alongside specific fragments that deal with grenade-based synergies. Take Facet of Dominance for example. It states that your Void grenades weaken targets and your Arc grenades jolt targets, and because Arc Soul technically counts as an Arc grenade now, it does indeed apply Jolt. Kills with buddies will also grant volatile rounds to your Void weapons if you're using Facet of Bravery, since again they count as grenades, and they will also cure you if you have Facet of Mending equipped, which makes it so grenade final blows cure you. There's also some other stuff like buddy kills being able to trigger traits like Adrenaline Junkie or the Spirit of Osmiomancy perk to reduce the cooldown of your real grenade even further. So basically, if there's something that has in any way relation to grenades or has a synergy with grenades, chances are that it now works with buddy aspects too. And to add another, I'm finally so happy that Ionic Sentry is able to apply Jolt with Spark of Shock and make orbs with kills, something I wish it had released with all the way back in Heresy. This change is a huge step towards improving Warlock build crafting, and I'd even argue that Warlocks are now in a really good spot. I've even made 2 builds with the new system already, so go check out either of them if you fancy. And also, the actual damage of these aspects is nothing to scoff at either. A 200 grenade Eunoia Hellion now deals about 15,000 total damage, which puts it just above a less than 100 super Celestial Nighthawk. And given how the Hellion damage literally just occurs in the background without you even thinking, this addition is massive and definitely the most groundbreaking Warlock change we've had in quite some time. Warlocks have also been granted a brand new passive trait that improves all grenade regeneration speeds by 10% and applies an additive 5% grenade damage bonus when compared to Hunters and Titans, solidifying them as the grenade and buddy class. Moving on, the Void Chaos Accelerant aspect has also received some pretty major tweaking. For starters, having this aspect equipped now grants you 2 grenade charges by default, and after that, the behavior of all of the charged grenades has changed significantly. Scatter Grenade now creates 4 additional Seekers when compared to their pre-patch state, and the actual damage of the Seekers has been increased by 25%. The Seekers also last longer and have much better tracking, overall making the grenade a lot more deadly. Speaking of Scatter Grenades, the exotic Nothing Manacles also provides you with an additional Scatter Grenade charge, meaning that if you pair Chaos Accelerant and Nothing Manacles together, you actually end up with 3 total Scatter Grenades, which I wasn't expecting to work, but I'm glad that it does. Axion Bolt has been changed to somewhat mirror a Touch of Flame fusion grenade, where it now detonates twice, spawning a boatload of Seekers, and just like Scatter Grenades, have also had their damage increased by 25%. Vortex Grenade was already pretty good, so all they did was make it so the grenade now repeatedly pulls in enemies towards it. And what's actually quite funny is that in the firing range, the opposite is true, where the grenade pushes enemies away rather than pulling them in, which is pretty funny, and yeah, I've got zero clue how this happened, but thankfully this appears to not be the case outside of the firing range, at least with my limited testing. After that, the Spike, Suppressor, and Void Wall grenades now all convert into handheld Supernova, so basically every single Void grenade now has a charged effect when used alongside Chaos Accelerant. Finally, the last piece of Warlock ability tuning pertains to the Stasis Glacial Harvest aspect, where the cooldown for Stasis Shard creation has been fully removed, letting you make as many shards as you like, which is great, but this isn't out yet, because when I was writing this script, apparently the changes haven't arrived yet and will instead be alongside update 9.1.5.1 next week, according to the most recent tweet. Something to look forward to, at least. Next up, we have Titans, where the Stasis Howl of the Storm aspect has changed in a pretty significant way. For starters, you now get 2 melee charges when running this aspect, and more importantly, 4 more crystals have been added to the formation, and the formation itself looks a lot different than it did before. And furthermore, the Tectonic Harvest aspect has also had its cooldown removed, which has made it through the update unlike the Warlock version. And this change is a lot different than it did before. More crystals have been added to the formation, and the formation itself looks a lot different than it did before. And furthermore, the Tectonic Harvest aspect has also had its cooldown removed, which has made it through the update unlike the Warlock version. And this change is also the reason why you're probably seeing way more Stasis Titans out there, because when combined with Howl of the Storm, breaking all of your crystals and collecting the shards they make fully refunds both of your melee charges, letting you loop the ability over and over again without even needing any kills, which is honestly insane, and you should definitely expect a Stasis Titan build soon that takes full advantage of this. Remaining on Stasis, the Cryoclasm aspect has also been slightly buffed, where it now provides 3 fragment slots instead of the previous 2, and the cooldown time of the long slide has been reduced from 4 seconds to now 2 seconds, letting you use the ability far more frequently. Moving on to Void Titan now, a couple aspects have received some buffs. Unbreakable has had its passive energy drain drastically reduced, letting you hold the shield for much longer than before, and the movement speed slowdown when walking forwards while being shot has also been cut back on. The available fragment slots have also been increased from 2 to 3, and the blast from the shield now disorients enemies it hits for a brief period, which according to my testing is about 1 to 2 seconds. The Bastion aspect has had its barricade cooldown penalty completely removed, letting you use it far more often than before. That's it for the Titans. Again, some pretty solid buffs, and Bungie have confirmed that some more Void Titan buffs are on the way, likely with Renegades, though the highlight is hands down Stasis. All that Stasis Titan needs now is a rock solid burst damage super, and it would actually become one of the best classes in the game. Finishing up with Hunter, they too have been granted some new passive benefits that set them apart from Warlocks and Titans. The first of which is that their base walking speed is now equivalent to old tier 10 mobility, where pre-patch it was tier 4, and as you can see from the side-by-side comparison, post-patch I am indeed walking faster. Speaking of things happening faster, Hunter now also sprints faster by default compared to Warlocks and Titans, where their base sprint speed has been increased to 8.6 meters per second from the previous 8 meters per second. Again, visible in the side-by-side comparison. Finally, Hunters now also gain a 10% bonus to weapon equip speed. Onto some actual ability changes, Marksman Dodge now has the ability to collect any nearby ammo bricks when used, and rather than reloading just your equipped weapon, it now reloads all of your weapons instead. The Strand Ensnaring Slam aspect has been buffed. It now no longer increases your dodge cooldown after using the ability, and it's also been given a brand new behavior. Suspending enemies with Ensnaring Slam now grants a varying amount of woven mail depending on how many enemies you suspended. One enemy is worth 4 seconds, and it caps out at 20 seconds for having suspended at least 5 enemies, making it much more worth the risk to dive into a group of enemies and escape with your life. I also want to see if there's any build potential here with Speedloader Slacks for example, so definitely stay tuned for that. Staying on Strand for a second, Threaded Spectre has had its fragment slots increased from 2 to 3, which also happens to be an excellent pairing with Ensnaring Slam. One of the bigger changes affecting the Hunter ability sandbox pertains to the Solar on your mark aspect, which now behaves like so. Precision hits grant 1 stack of the buff, and precision kills grant 2 stacks, and the buff itself now stacks up to 10 times. Furthermore, for each stack of the buff you gain, you also get +5 weapon stat, with the maximum of 10 stacks giving you 50 weapon stat total, which also affects your teammates by the way, not just you, which definitely opens up a support DPS avenue where you task your Solar Hunter with topping up the weapon stat of your entire team when fighting a raid boss, for example. When you're at 10 stacks, the buff can still be refreshed with kills, however, precision damage cannot. Also, kills while at level 10 now grant Cure, and it still provides the previous reload speed benefit it did in the past. Staying on Solar Hunter, Deadshot Golden Gun has been changed so that it now refunds ammo on kills rather than ignitions, removing the need for Ember of Combustion, and it was stated in the patch notes that the energy returned is supposed to diminish with each kill you get. However, this is not the case, and you can continue firing your Golden Gun so long as there are enemies to kill without worrying about the super ending, because it won't, which is probably unintended, so make use of this while you can. The last piece of ability tuning for Hunter relates to the Stasis Grim Harvest aspect, where, you guessed it, the Stasis Shard cooldown has been removed, and yes, I can confirm it is indeed gone, making builds like Mask of Fealty just that much better. Wrapping things up, we have some miscellaneous items, starting with Spreadshot hand cannons, which have had their PvE damage bonus increased from 8% to now 15%, comment, wow, the Stronghold Exotic Titan Gauntlets have been fully reverted to their pre-update 9.1.0 state and function like they always have in the past once again. Combination Blow has been fully fixed and should now work as intended with Tempest Strike or on its own without any additional hiccups. And there we have it. That's all of the major changes to the PvE sandbox that occurred during update 9.1.5. I hope you enjoyed the video and perhaps learned something new. I hope all my Warlock viewers are having fun with the new buddy aspect changes, and same goes for any Stasis Titans or Solar Hunters looking to mix things up. Let me know in the comments what you're enjoying the most. Anyway, that's all for today. Don't forget to like, comment, sub, and hype the video, because apparently mobile users can do that now, so yeah. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, dear viewer. Right, hello guys, and welcome back to I have to complete this intro in less than 30 seconds because my armor charge is currently ticking down and I want to show you exactly what this build can do. So, without further ado, let's quickly get into it. I'm going to pop my grenade here, and I am just going to sit here. Yep, I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to do anything. Absolutely nothing. I'm just sitting there. Oh, got another grenade. Yep, going to keep going. Yep, look at this. Not even shooting, I'm just moving around. I'm not even shooting. I'm just moving around. There we go. So, today, I want to show you what this build is all about. And, to be honest, you've probably seen this build before. This is the classic Warlock Getaway Artist build. And why am I showing you this again? Well, because in update 9.1.5 that just came out yesterday, we have had a major change to how the Warlock buddy aspects work, as in Arc Soul, Child of the Old Gods, Bleak Watcher, many things have changed with them. And today, I want to show you a build that fully capitalizes on all of those changes, because let me tell you, these changes are insane. Warlocks are finally back after all of the complaints that they had at the beginning of Edge of Fate not feeling useful. Now you guys certainly have some power in your arsenal once again. So yeah, this is literally just an AFK build, or a sort of least amount of thinking build. So let's get into why this is the case. So basically, in the 9.1.5 update, the buddy aspects have been changed to take from the grenade stats, and they count as grenades for stats and perks. So essentially, if you have an interaction that uses a grenade in the past, there is a pretty high chance that it's going to work with a buddy aspect now. So if my grenade made Orbs of Power with the Firepower mod, my Arc Soul, because it's treated as a grenade now, is going to make orbs with Firepower. Same way that it's going to have its damage increased with having increased investment in the grenade stats, which at 200 is a 65% increase, by the way. And it's also going to behave with certain aspects and fragments, more on that shortly. However, that is the real meat and potatoes of these new changes, is just the fact they all behave as grenades, and it allows so many cool interactions. So why Getaway Artist? Well, you guys probably know this already, but Getaway Artist has the main perk Dynamic Duo. This states that you can convert your Arc Grenade into an Arc Soul and become amplified. The Arc Soul functions as an autonomous turret. So essentially what this means is that consuming my grenade will give me an Arc Soul. And this Arc Soul is the enhanced Arc Soul, where it fires 5 bullets as opposed to 3, which the normal version does on Arc. And it makes you amplified. And remember, being amplified gives you a 15% damage resistance and makes enemies less accurate when targeting you. And at the same time, as you can see, I made a stasis turret. And the reason that happens is because of Bleak Watcher. But you guys probably already knew that. This build was very popular at the beginning of the final shape, and I think it lost its popularity. I can't remember why, but, you know, it's back now. That's why we take Getaway Artist, because it is just a really easy way to get an Arc Soul going. And I must say, you do need an Arc Grenade for this to work. You can't use any other grenade. It has to be Arc, but, you know, it doesn't actually matter because, you know, basically all the same. Anyway, let's move on to the subclass section of the build. Supers wise, this is kind of up to you. You can go Song of Flame, you can go Needlestorm. There's some cool stuff going on with Needlestorm this season with the pack tactics and threadling proliferation stuff makes it increase its damage, so that's kind of up to you. I've gone for Song of Flame, but, you know, could just as easily swap it for Needlestorm. Phoenix Dive for the quick and easy access to heals. Could also go for Empowering Rift if you wanted to test the new changes with, you know, standing in it, giving you more grenade and melee energy and so on. But to me, Phoenix Dive is just old reliable. Then I have Arcane Needle, Storm Grenade because you need that to convert. Then we have Feed the Void and Bleak Watcher. Now, some of you might be saying, why not go Helion and Bleak Watcher? And that is a valid question. However, I wouldn't really recommend this because you lose Devour, which is okay, but you also, in losing Devour, lose the ability to get lots of grenade energy back per kill, which is not what you really want. In a build with buddies, you want to be spamming your buddy as much as possible. And because Bleak Watcher is a grenade, you're just not going to be getting it back as fast if you don't don't have Feed the Void. So, you know, if you are thinking about using Bleakwatcher and Hellion, I wouldn't go with Getaway Artist. I would maybe go with a Spirit of Filaments class item instead, but definitely take Feed the Void. Bleakwatcher, however, is an optional aspect. If you didn't want Bleakwatcher, you could also go Hellion. Feed the Void is non-negotiable, but it is basically your choice between these two. And in the gameplay you're seeing in this video, I do use both of them in different setups, and I'll actually have the footage labeled as to which one is which, because I wanted to get a impression of which one I preferred. I'm just going to tell you straight up, Bleakwatcher is better in my opinion. I didn't really feel the impact as much with Hellion when I was testing it. It was still good, it was still very good. However, I did think that the Bleakwatcher took the crown in terms of which buddy aspect to pair with Feed the Void. And it also does change around the required stats that you need, because if you wanted to invest into Hellion, as you can see here, my class stat is 32, and I have created a different build where my class stat is 77, which is the one that includes Hellion, and I will have both of these links in the description, so don't worry about that. We'll have the dim links, but it does mean that you need to change what stats you invest into. And to be honest, even with 77 class, I didn't notice my Phoenix life coming back nearly as quickly as I thought it would, even with Facet of Hope as well. But first of all, I'm just going to focus.
Alright, chat, so I thought we would do a fun video today.
If you really want to get all role play with...
What is he doing?
Oh my balls, dude.
Woo!
Damn it.
Thanks for the 4 years as well, Ed. Class. The silver game. Ooh, there are the socks. Okay.
Okay, we're back to paint for this one, and one which actually did the person that discovered this. He wrote a whole report on it, and
They're probably looking for something worse than they are. You know who isn't human? People like
trials of Osiris. You're going to help. Look to your fire. Bring down. One ally is left. Is it Round one. Your team stands tall. You are in the lead. I am not the problem. The opposing team is thrilled. One ally is left. Enemy is left. Your team is full. Stand back. Opponent revived. Turn this lead into a victory. Nothing can stop it. One chance.
Something. Damn. That's some sexy tier 5s right there. Ooh, and we got an A ranking? Yeah, so that's what the ranking is, Scarless. I mean, yeah, you just get like a good ranking and it gives you good shit. I think the only reason I got...
Trials of Osiris.
Especially since they already have it. Roll and everything. Yeah.
Your life only have one. Be careful.